My name is Suzanne. I've spent many years working as an applications instructor, so the ins and outs of Excel, Word, PowerPoint, they're right at my fingertips, and I kind of want to be able to share it with others. So what we're going to work on today is when you have dates and you need to do some math with those dates. Let's say you offer a discount if they pay 30 days early. So you have the day the invoice is due, but you need to figure out what is 30 days before that. Or you assign a project and they have 45 calendar days to get the project done. So here's the due date. What is 45 calendar days from this due date? Or if you're working with a project, you need to add and subtract the start date, the end date to figure out how many days it took. And that not only calendar days, but a big question I used to get a lot is, but I need to know actual working days. I need to subtract holidays. I need to subtract weekends. So we're going to do 3 different ways of doing a date calculation so that you can see those things. Wherever I have formulas in this worksheet, there's a FormulaText formula. So it'll actually show what the formula is in the cell as I put it in. So not only can you see the results, you'll see the formula that we used to get there. And this is an if C2 is blank, then just leave it blank, otherwise show me the formula text. So the first example we're going to do is I need to figure out what is 45 days from today's date. For today's date, we get to use one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts. You get to hold down your control key and press the semicolon. That'll put today's date into the cell. And if you look at the formula bar, you'll see it's actually hard-coded. I'm going to create a formula for 45 days in advance. Cell doesn't think of dates as dates. It actually thinks of dates as numbers. It started counting, starting with January 1st, 1900, and it's been counting ever since, which is great because we can do math with numbers. So if I want to know what day is 45 days from today, I'm going to put my equal sign in, and I'm going to click on the cell that has today's date. I'm going to do a plus sign, and then 45. And if I press the Enter key, it will show me that October 24th is 45 calendar days from today. Similarly, if I wanted to know the difference between 2 dates, I can do the same thing. And when you're subtracting dates, you always start with the date that's in the future, go to the closer date. So I'm going to do equal, so bigger number minus smaller number. So all formulas and functions begin with an equal sign. I'm clicking on the end date minus the start date. And if I go ahead and press enter, it will tell me that from July 1st to August 1st, and so it includes August 1st, is 31 days. And this is great, but sometimes you're doing a project that's longer than a few months, longer than a few years. And to read that number of days, it would be a little unwieldy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change it using a legacy function so we can see it either as the number of months, the number of days, the number of years. And that's by using Datedif. The reason I point out it's a legacy function is as I start typing out the formula, it won't be suggested. It's a holdover from the days of Lotus 123, but it's still very valuable, so they still let people use it. With Datedif, you're going to give it the start date, the end date, and then how do you want to see the answer. So I'm going to have the start date between arguments. I always put a comma, the end date. So I want to see months, and my project is less than a year long, so I'm going to use the M. So that'll show me 1 month. I'm going to put up on the screen the different variants you can use. You have day, months, year. If your project spans over multiple years, you use the ones with 2 letters saying take the years first and then give me what's left. I'm going to do another video where I actually go through the different Datedifs and we'll add the ampersand so you can add the words next to it. The last function we're going to work with is if I want to take away weekends and holidays. So on my holidays tab, I have an unsorted list of dates, and this is the state holidays as well as the dates that a specific employee is out on vacation. And I put those in because I'm calculating for that person. I want to know how many days they'll actually have of working time. I left the list unsorted just to show that it still works with unsorted, but you can also sort the list and it would still work. So this one is called Networkdays, and it assumes your weekends are Saturday, Sunday. If your weekend or the time the employees don't work is not Saturday or Sunday, you would use the networkdays.intl, where it gives you another argument where you can say what the weekend time off time is. So I'm going to go ahead and do network days. And the arguments are fairly simple: start date, end date, holidays. But I do want to show the function argument box because it's one of my favorite things. So I just closed my parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and click this insert function button. And what I like about the function argument box, it shows each item and it gives me a description of what it's looking for. As I said, this one is fairly simple, but there are ones I used to use it all the time with VLOOKUP. What am I supposed to be putting in each place? It will also show me the result in two places as I go along. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the start date and the end date, and you'll see it put the numeric equivalent, and it's showing me that the answer of just weekends is 24. During this time, there is the 4th of July holiday. So if I include the holidays, I'm going to use this to make it a little easier to get back to. So you can highlight down and you can include blanks. That's why I said this is going to be very nice because I can just go back to my tab here. And then I press OK. So now it's showing me that between July 1st and August 1st, there are 23 working days. I'm going to use Control Duplicate for this next row because between this August and September date, as I said, I have somebody who's off. So there's a lot more days that are considered a holiday for them. And so with network days there, it is taking the start date, the end date, and then it's looking at that list of holidays. And as I said, they're out from August 28th to September 4th. And if we were to look at our calendar and start counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're not working this day, they're not working that day. This is a holiday, they're not working, they're not working, they're not working. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That gives us our answer of 16. So that's how you can use the formulas and functions to work with Excel to help you with some dates. And like anything else in Excel, you really need to practice. So I have a former coworker who I'm still eternally grateful for. The first time I was showing her how to do this, she created a birthday sheet and she put a date of birthdays in, and then we did how many days before the birthday were you going to go buy the gift, how many days before you mailed the car, how many days before for planning dinner, and then how many days after the birthday, if you forgot the birthday, were you going to then go apologize to the person. And so it gave her a good way to do the math, to be able to think about it in a more fun way. Excel is so powerful in some of the things it gives you, and you don't realize how much time you can save and how much easier it can make your life until you really start trying to apply it. So go ahead, thank you for watching, happy calculating, and have a wonderful day.